All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video. And thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being a proud sponsor of the Krug Show. Well, Aaron Wilson, who covers the NFL, has reported that the 49ers are going to meet with Minnesota safety Jordan Howden. They're not the only team interested. The Saints, the Raiders, the Seahawks, the Packers, and the Vikings are all interested in Jordan Howden. Jordan Howden wore 23 for Minnesota this year. He's a 6 foot, 203 pound free safety. He's a kid who's from San Diego, California, and played at Desert Pines High School in Las Vegas. And just a really intriguing prospect on a lot of fronts. Now, let's talk a little bit about Howden and what the Niners see in Jordan Howden. He ran 4.43 at the combine. He had a 1.53 10-yard split, so he moves pretty well. And then he had a 33.5-inch vertical at the combine, but in Minnesota's pro day, he upped that vertical to 39.5 inches. He gained 6 inches of vertical from the combine to his pro day at the University of Minnesota. He also had pretty good strength, 14 reps at 225. If you look at his year in 2022, he made 58 tackles, 3.5 behind the line of scrimmage, 5 passes defensed. He had a couple picks. He played 13 games. This guy played 5 collegiate seasons. Interesting kid, too. He has 7 siblings. His dad played ball at Grambling. So he's like, football is the family business. And he's a really solid player. He's a savvy player with excellent instincts and just great feel for the position. This guy diagnoses quickly. So I told you he ran 4.43, and he's got good quickness at 1.53 and a 10-yard split. But when you watch him on the field, he's actually faster than that because he diagnoses quickly and correctly. Initially, he's going to help the 49ers on special teams, but this guy can really play. 166 career tackles, 4 interceptions. He's made 49 career starts at Minnesota. Team captain. He was the team captain for their defense, and he plays well in two deep coverage. Whether it's be split safeties or single high. We know that Steve Wilkes is going to run a lot of cover 3 with a single high safety. And the one thing that the 49ers have Talanoa Hufanga, and Tayshaun Gibson's he's the strong safety. Tayshaun Gibson is the free safety. But Gibson is an older player. They could use in this draft a young free safety who could come in and be groomed to play, that deep middle in the cover 3. And this guy's a very intelligent player. Now, why is he not thought of as a day 1 guy or a day 2 guy? Well, he lacks premium speed. He lacks premium quickness. 4.43 is good, but I mean, there's faster times than that. He also lacks some tackling technique, and he lacks a little bit of length. His back pedal is a little bit tight, so there's some people that don't like that. But the comp that I saw with him that makes a lot of sense, a lot of people compare him to Chuck Clark, who's had a really good NFL career. This kid's got tremendous work ethic. He's a leader. As I said, he's a team captain. He's only had 10 missed tackles over the last 3 seasons combined. So he's very sure tackler. He can defend the tight end. He can cover the wide receiver in the slot. He was a track athlete in high school. What I love about this kid is nothing was handed to him. He was a walk-on. He was a walk-on at the University of Minnesota who would eventually earn a scholarship. And I just have a great affinity for these kinds of players. I mean, Samuel Womack was a walk-on at Toledo and became all-conference. This guy was a walk-on at Minnesota and then eventually earned a scholarship. And, that means nothing was handed to him. He had to fight and claw for everything that he's gotten. There's also some great bloodlines here. I mentioned his dad played at Grambling. His cousin is Saladin Martin, who played in the NFL with the Niners, actually, with the Giants and the Jets and the Niners. This kid's also really smart. He was academic all Big Ten. So, the guy has played 500 plus special team snaps. So he'll be able to step in right away as a special teamer and really help you out. The other thing that really stands out about his profile, he ran a 6.87 3-cone drill at the combine. That was top 5 among all safeties in the draft. That combine 3-cone what it really reflects is your quickness and what kind of quickness you have and change of direction. So this guy's got in some ways the 3 cone's more important than the 40. It shows what kind of quickness you have and what kind of agility you play with. But yeah, this kid, he played in the East West Shrine game. He looked good in that game, and he comes from a football family, and he's smart, and he's productive, and he works hard, and he was a leader, and he was a captain, and he's probably going to be a day 3 pick. So if the Niners the Niners have a number of picks on day 3 in the draft, and they're going to have their options to take a look at a number of different prospects. And if they haven't gone for a safety yet, especially, there's guys that they may go for that are more like strong safeties. They play in the box, up on the line of scrimmage, like a Talanoa Hufanga. But man, it's really difficult to find a player who can play that free safety role for a team that runs a lot of cover 3. There's just a lot of grass to cover. One false step and you're giving up 6. One false step and you cannot recover. One diagnose incorrectly and you're out of the play. This guy doesn't do that. This guy's savvy. This guy's got excellent instincts. This guy diagnoses what he sees quickly. So I like the prospect a lot. If you had to play him in a lot of man-to-man coverage, I think he would struggle. But if you're going to go split safeties or you're going to go single high, cover 3, if you go cover 2, cover 3, this guy can play for you. He can start for you. He doesn't have just the premium speed, the premium quickness. So he's not going on day 1 and he's not going on day 2. And there's enough kind of that lack of big time speed kind of stands out. And some of the tightness in his back pedal kind of stands out when you watch him. But the combination of the production, the quickness, the leadership, the second generation NFL, as far as his Saladin Martin played in the NFL, his cousin, his dad played at Grambling. I like this player. He was a track athlete in high school, so I think there's some ability to run. But I like him. I like him as a guy who can shut down the tight end. I mean, you can put this guy on the tight end and feel pretty confident that he can shut down the tight end. But then you can also put him in the slot against some of the NFL's quicker slot receivers, and he's going to hold his own as well. And then I also like the fact that he didn't miss a lot of tackles. He's in the right place at the right time with tremendous work ethic, tremendous leadership. You got to remember this is one other factor that I think is really important, and it's why the 49ers brought back Tayshaun Gibson. When they lost Emmanuel Mosley and when they lost Jimmy Ward, they lost a lot of their culture in the back end. They lost a lot of their tone setters in the back end. They lost a lot of their physicality in the back end. But more importantly, you need a couple of safeties that are mature, that are veterans, that have seen it all before, that are smart, that get everybody lined up, that can play with poise. And I think Jordan Howden from Minnesota, is a guy that could get them lined up correctly. Initially, he'll be a special teamer, but eventually, I think he could start at free safety. And I just think I see a lot of value in this player. So remember that name, day 3 of the draft. It won't be day 1 or day 2, but Jordan Howden, a 6 foot, 203-pound safety from the University of Minnesota. And if you catch him on film, he wears 23. Really, really solid football player. And I think he would be a solid day 3 pick. All right. Hope you enjoyed our 49er draft video today. And make sure you check out Pig and a Pickle. 2 locations. They're in Emeryville, open Wednesday through Sunday in the East Bay, and they're open 7 days a week in Corte Madera from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Get your brisket chili. Tell them the Krug sent you. And thanks for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.